Hello, welcome back. It says stream status is poor. We need to change the video resolution. The current resolution is 2560 by 1440, which is not supported for this configuration. What does this configuration mean? I have no idea. What do they mean? Oh, because I chose ultra low latency. And I can't change it now. But the stream is live. And the stream is 1440p. So how does not supported work? Excuse me, Google. This makes no sense. You're watching on 480p, but the stream does have the option 1440p, does it not? It does show for me. So it makes no sense. Just YouTube being YouTube. Maybe they should never have started the stream if it doesn't support it. I mean, I'm not shading you. Like, let me show you this. Let's leave Zen mode. Just look at this. Just look at this bullshit. We need to change the video resolution because I chose low latency, ultra low latency. But we do have 1440. So what's really happening? Is it not on ultra low latency? Who knows? I'm not gonna change anything, not for this stream. All right, so let's get started. So I guess the two of you who are already here, know what today is going to be about. The project is called Hyperlife, right? And this is the concept, the preliminary concept that I've done. Just took me like, I just put this together in like 20 minutes, right? And it's a very basic concept. Now let me tell you what this is gonna do differently from like this thing, calendar apps. Google Calendar works. I mean, it works. That's all I got to say about it. It kind of works, right? So why did I need a new one? I'm gonna tell you that. As the title of the stream says, this task management app is specifically for chaotic people like me. Now you may not consider me chaotic, in a way. If you know me already, you might not consider me chaotic. You might consider me procedural and methodic, which I am in a way, right? But what I mean by chaotic here is that I often have stuff to do that is not well defined. I want to get started with game dev, right? But I don't have the time to commit to splitting it up into small pieces of things to do. Right? This app that I'm building belongs in the app itself. So once we have the basic prototype, we are going to use this app to manage itself. It's going to be self-hosted. So the basic concept is this, right? So I have a bunch of stuff that I have that are long-running projects. So I may have like say hyperactive, right? and I might have Telegraph. And these are all projects that I maintain, and they're never going to be done. They're just going to be in maintenance for eternity, or as long as I don't abandon them. So this is really the core of the problem. I cannot put, a specific task in my calendar. And let me also tell you what apps like Google Calendar do well. When I did have a job, right, Google Calendar worked really well because there are well-defined tasks that I can put in well-defined slots in my schedule. But when I'm working on my own, when I'm running my own stuff, I don't have that kind of, luxury. Some might say that the solution to that is just to, bite the bullet and plan it out, flesh it out fully. Say I want these tasks done this week for Hyperactive and these tasks for Telegraph, and it might work for them. And they might say my approach to this problem is wrong. But this is how I've always worked, just not very efficiently. And I'm just looking to make my existing workflow efficient, right? And my workflow is tends to happen like that. So one day I just choose to work on something, and that might, I might start working on Telegraph, and it might go on for 8 hours, and I'm missing out on other stuff that I need to do. So this app has 3 sections in theory, right? So how this works is you have the traditional calendar part of the app, and this is the same as similar to what you might find on other calendar apps, where you have the month view, you have the day view, and yeah. So Google Calendar also makes this a choice, right? You have to choose between the month view and the day view, and I don't want to make that choice. I want both the high level view and the low level view, and the day level view. Of course, that doesn't mean I want to see the entire year. We might, if that is required at some point, we might come back to that. But I don't think that's critical. That's not improving my efficiency in any way. I'm the kind of person who while I'm not on the road, I do not use the navigation mode on Google Maps. I use the map mode because I want to see ahead. I want to know what's ahead of me, right? So the same applies to everything with my life. I want to see what's ahead for at least a week or two. I want to know what stuff I have planned down the line, and this helps with that. This view helps with that. I realize that the calendar view doesn't actually need the month view doesn't actually need all that much space. In fact, if I needed more stuff on my screen, this is a standard 16:9 screen, right? So this is 1920 by 1080, what I'm designing for, and this is scalable for any screen size that's also 16:9. For mobile is my secondary to me. Desktop is primary because all my productivity happens on desktop. So yeah, so I realize that if I need more space, I can make this smaller, right? I can make the month view smaller. The month view doesn't actually demand that much space. What really needs space is the day view, because this shows exactly what's up today, right? And by default, that can be selected for today. Today is September 4th. So by default, September 4th can be selected. And when you hover over different days, this view can change. That gives me all the information I'll need. And if I want to see the next months, I can always do that. Right. Now let's come to this part, and this is the important part, right? The game changing part of my whole thing. And here we have a list of just generic tasks. It's basically, you can think of it as a to-do app shoved into a calendar app. But what makes it different is that these are basically unscheduled tasks. Unscheduled. Okay. Gonna make that like that. Gonna move this down. And this is my unscheduled view. Yeah. So whenever I'm ready to do something let's say I'm gonna do some game dev today. At that point, I'm just gonna let me organize this a little bit. Yeah. So at that point, whenever I want to start working on this task, I just drag it into a slot in my day, right? And that's going to ask me, it's got the start time, so it's going to ask me how much time I'm gonna need to do this. And let's say I have, if I start this at 15. Let's say I have 3 hours today. So it's going to give me that 3 hours. But that means game dev it's not going to be done in 3 hours, right? It's a long running task. So what it's going to do is going to instantiate that task. So this is going to be an instance of game dev. And here we're going to get a counter that says there's one active or one already scheduled instance for this task. And the more I schedule this, when I do this again, this is going to increment to 2. And whenever I'm done with a block of task, I can click on it and add comments to it. And then later, when I come back to this, when I come back to I want to see what's done with game dev, I just click on it, and it's going to open a list of all the scheduled hours and all the elapsed hours, like which of those hours are done, which of them are not done, like they're upcoming, and all the comments that come with it. And that gives me a continuous view of game dev whenever I schedule it. I just schedule it arbitrarily. I don't have to commit to planning it down to a specific thing. Right? I can just add it whenever I have time in my schedule, and it's going to keep incrementing. And whenever I'm actually done with this, like I'm no longer going to do this task, right? Let's say I'm working on let's say this project, because it's about life and not just about tasks, for me at least. I'm gonna call this hyperlife, right? Whenever I'm done with hyperlife, I can just mark it as done, and it's gonna move out of this unscheduled area. And later we'll have a history section where you can go back and see these task groups that are already done and so on. But this is the MVP. This is the minimum viable product. It's gonna have this one screen, right? That's what we are going to build today. Yeah. So this is the fundamental idea behind hyperlife, and this is why I call this task management for chaotic people. Yes. So it's more specifically task management for extremely organized chaotic people, if that makes sense. So let's get started. I think the UI part, I'll start with just the UI part today, and we'll see where it goes. This is a completely empty project. I'm gonna be using Hyperactive as the UI framework for this project, because where this is just a concept, like we'll improvise, we'll go improvise on the way. I've even written it down as concept. Let's make the MVP and then we can refine the designs if needed. Right, so I'm gonna use Hyperactive as the UI framework. So I'm gonna have an index.html dot type there we go. Let's call this Hyperlife, and we're gonna have a div id app and a script tag. Why is this? Okay, so script, let's call this main.ts. Right. Well, actually, I forgot that Wheat will probably not work with Dino. I'm gonna use Dino for this. So let's say JS slash, and we'll have a JS folder, and we'll git ignore it. Let's do that, and we'll do git init, right? And we'll do ts, we'll do src main.ts, and let's do Dino upgrade and get the latest version first. All right. I've got Dino 1.225.1. Now we want to import Hyperactive. I have a new keyboard and I'm not used to it yet. My previous keyboard just decided to die. Have to, excuse me if I'm typing slow today. Finally not able. It was a Logitech, okay? It was not an eyeball. And I just got a random HP one because I really want, why I need to Dino in it. Nope. I just got a random HP. Render DOM. We'll get render DOM. I will get elements. Right. I got a cheap HP one for now because my previous laptop stopped working after like how long has it been? I think it's been around for almost 7 years. I just stopped working randomly. So I just got a random HP one for now. The stopgap. I want a good mechanical keyboard. In case you guys have suggestions, I'm open to it, but I have conditions. I want a full-size keyboard. I'm not going to settle for any of these, like 80%, 90%, 10 kilos compact. I'm not going to settle for any of that. I need a full-size keyboard, right? So we want to let Dino know that we we have DOM. Okay. I forgot how to write / directives. Reference lib equal to DOM. That should do it. Yeah. So we have document.get element by ID app, which is the app div that we have. What's you feel betrayed? Why do you feel betrayed? Oh, because we are doing a coding stream. Hi, Dweeb. We'll do a different stream next week, or whenever we get time on my task app. Uncle Dweeb. Right. So don't worry. I just had to do this today. I hope you understand. We are sure that app exists, so we can enforce that. So let's do render DOM. And we need the root node, and we need a hypernode. So this is I call that root. This is the problem with, I fucking hate Dino LSP. Just does not work. What's the problem now? The heck? Oh, I guess let's see if we have. So this reference DOM thing does not work because hyperactive brings its own types. So let's see now. This is such a mess. Let's see. It's gotta be lib dom.ts, I think. Document, and then we can do declare. Get rid of this. Declare const document. Right now that works. The way this works is hyperactive has a scoped version of the DOM lib because it's because of a mess that Dino does. Let's see. Let me show you what it's for. So hyperactive runs both on Dino and the browser and on Node. So it runs everywhere basically. But the problem is the moment you add the / directive or in some way you add the DOM lib to your library, it just pollutes the whole thing, man. Not just the library, it pollutes the user's app. So if a user of hyperactive is using is building for Dino, because I've added the / directive for DOM, their types for Dino is going to just disappear. It's just going to be DOM. Dino is kind of stupid like that. In Node TypeScript projects, this is controllable because you can have multiple TS configs. You can have composite projects and things like that, where parts of your app can have a different lib from the whole thing. But this does not work with Dino. There's no way around it except having two completely separate repos, which is also, in my opinion, kind of stupid because I just want my render DOM to have the document types, right? And because Dino does not allow this, I actually have a script that fetches the DOM lib for me. And then it is that the one? Yeah, I think that's the one. DOM lib. Yeah, so it removes all the all the things that I don't need, and it makes all the interfaces exported. Right, so here's the DOM lib that Microsoft, the TypeScript team at Microsoft, they build this. Right, so they build this. There are no exports because this is an ambient types file. So what my generation script does is it strips this no default lib stuff, and it adds an export to all the interfaces, and it removes any declares and stuff that I don't actually need. So it makes the global DOM lib an importable module. And if you see my hyper render DOM, you can see that this line basically makes the document object global to only this file. It's only declared in this file, not in any other files. So this file still has its denotypes. Doesn't have the it's not even denotypes. It's just regular, what do I say? JS, standard JS. So most of it is just standard JS, and then there's just render DOM, which only has type, which is the only file that has types for DOM. And this is only a compile time thing, right? So at runtime this is not safe. So at runtime I have something called guessenv, which basically defines process and window as optional stuff, and guessenv is just going to check if these things exist, and depending on whether window.deno exists, it's gonna say it's deno. If process.version exists, it's gonna say it's node, and so on. So that's how we have nicer runtime errors. Anyway, enough of that stuff. Let's get back to building the app. So let's have our app, and before that we need to import our elements. What elements do we want? We want section, we want button, we want h1, maybe span, and we can roll with that for now. Then app is, we probably want a main, so let's just put everything inside the main. So now we have 3 sections. This stream also serves as a hyperactive tutorial, which is really cool. So this is one section, this is another section, and this is another section in our app. So it's going to be main and 3 sections, and inside section, the first section, we have h1 September 2022. Don't worry about the hard-coded stuff for now. It's gonna we'll fix that time. And then we have the month, and then we want the month we want a way to get these days, but for now let's just arrange these 7 by 5. Let's make a 7 by 5 grid. So let's make div that's always going to have that many items in it, right? So let's make let's say 5, and for each one we're going to return another array which is 7, and each one has a button, right? And I guess we need to expand the array and put this inside a div. What's wrong? Argument of type unknown. Why is it type unknown? Hypernode-ish. Type node. Auto import doesn't work. Let's see. It's returning unknown array. That's let me check. That's not the right form for that. Is it just array? No. Ah, we needed length 5. Let's do the same here. And no match for the signature. Hypernode element. Does it need button? Is that it? Okay, this is a function. It's been a while. Really been a while. Let's try hypernode-ish. Oh, my bad. Needed to be a function. All right, I think now we have the months. Let's try this again. So the first parameter is not the index. Second parameter is. So let's call this row. And for now, I'm just going to do row into call. Right? Let's do is Dino bundle still a thing? Yes. SRC, and we want that to go to all right. So on the other side, let's do that. All right, so we have something happening here. If you would like to at any point check this out on your own devices, you can do sorry, it's mkr.save.the. So you can follow along here if you'd like to. All right, let's see why this looks so wrong. All right, these need to be incremented by 1 because it's 0 indexed. And we kind of want this to happen. Is there a Dino bundle watch? Nope. Is there a there is something I've used in the past to watch files and run shit automatically. Watch file change and it's iNotify. No, not Nodemon. Give me a second. I'm just gonna find this. I'm gonna find this. Dino bundle watch. I don't think that exists. Oh, it does? It just didn't have the shorthand? Okay, never mind. Cool. So now you can see that. That's okay. All right. So, let's do more here. Let's say let's actually calculate the months, I think. So what we need to do is date, new date, const month is date, get month, and JavaScript months, JavaScript get month returns 0 index. So let's do +1. And maybe we should just get date functions. Oh, there's a date functions Dino package. Is it updated though? Nope, it's from a year ago. So let's just get it from unpackage. It'll probably not be typed, right? There it is. Just typed somehow. Okay. Actually, we might not need that right now. We want okay. Add months. Is there types for this? There's no types for it. That is terrible. Let's just get the one from Dino Land, I guess. It's very popular. It hasn't been updated since a year ago. Where's the content? Index.js. Let's see. Okay, now we have types. So we're gonna add 1 month. I'm just trying to get the last date of this month, right? So let's do n dot set date to 1, and then n dot can we just do let's try this in REPL. What happens if you set -1? 30. That sounds like what we need actually. Days. So we set it to 1, and then we set it to -1. Then we get the last date of current month, right? That's it. Open door. Is that set hours? Set hours. Set hours. Set minutes. There might be a shorter way to do this, but let's do this for now. We can clean up later. It's really been a while since I've worked on anything else other than telegraph. So now we have a date which has hours, minutes, and milliseconds set to 0, and then we add 1 month to it and subtract 1 month, right? Set set date to 0, and then we do add days to -1. Why using library is just slightly more convenient rather than mutating one date over and over again. So let's try what end is. Okay, sports is not defined. What? What did you do, Dino? What? Oh God. So whoever published this to Dino probably messed up. Okay. So let's start off today. Let's call it start of day, and date is date, and then we can just do the mutations here. Once new date d dot set date set hours 0, minutes, set seconds, set milliseconds, return d. Let's start of day. All right, let's get last date of month. Might need get bounds of month, right? And then we do start set date, set month, start month +1 to increment the month by 1, and then we do set date why not use date string? How do you get the date string? This is actually so that we don't mutate the existing date object. Functions date to date string. How do you get the date object? You say date to date string, how do you get the date object? I keep doing 0. It's passed as param. Dude, to get this date object, you have to do new date. You get the point? What? What? Why do I? Oh, you mean it strips the zeros? I prefer this. I would avoid, you know, stringifying and parsing if we need like we had an option, right? Okay, let's get the bounds of month. We're gonna get fucked by time zones really soon. There's no library here. I removed the library. Get bounds of month. Do we even need? I think we can do this here. So we don't need that. Just do new date here. Start in it. Let's see what happens now. So we have September 1 and September 29. But September has 30 days. It doesn't have 29 days. So they fucked up somewhere. Okay, so should I set date to 0? Yeah, that does work. Then I don't need this, I think. Yeah, that just works. Set date to 0 and it goes to the previous month. All right. Now that we have that, let's populate these dates correctly. Why did -1 work on REPL? Because it was I'm not sure it did work. Let's not bother with that. This works for us. And this works. And now we need to populate the dates correctly. And to do that, we need to so instead of doing this, what we should do is have a chunk function. Which accepts t's, accepts the number of items per chunk. And then you can say size, chunk size, right? And then we want to do array from so we need to divide the original array length by size and then seal it. So math.seal is the upper rounds to the closest integer above. And then we have v is unknown. We just have the indents. So for each index, we want to slice the original array by index into the chunk size. These, right? So now what I'm gonna do is dates. Actually, we have another tricky problem where we don't just want 1 to 30. We want some of the previous dates to compensate. So we actually want to February date string. We'll do that, but before that, let me think about this. Let me quickly think about this. And so we want the previous Sunday. That is actually the start, and we want 7 into 5 number of number of dates from the earliest Sunday that we have. Or we could move it one back and make it start from Monday and have the Sundays on the other side. So let's just make this get start. And let that be. So we actually only really need the start because we are just going to generate 35 elements from the start, right? And for the start of the month, we want to set the date to 1, right? And then we want to say start.get get day of the week. And what is actually that? New date, get day. Today is 0, that is Sunday. So let's make it so we want to do start.set date minus get day, right? So get day, if get day returns 5, right? That means we want to go 5 back. So let's do 5 into 7. You can write 35 here, but I prefer this because magic numbers are bad. We know why. Like we either know it or we can comment why why we have 5 and 7. So typically I avoid writing 35. It's a very small calculation, and it's going to run once for the entire program. Readable, like it's more readable that way. That's what I was going to say. New. So we want add day. Days. Date. And number. Oh, if 0 is provided for day value, the date will be set to the last day of the previous month. So if it's 0, we actually want it to be 1. So 1 minus 0. Top level const. We'd have to do that. Like, I wouldn't write 35 even then. Top level const is fine. Right, then we need month rows 5 const month calls 7 month days. This will work. Because we'll also need these things to do the chunking. So now we want this add days, right? So let's not set date. Let's not get date plus and return next. Days I. Start. I. Chunk. Sorry. Chunk date. We want to chunk them in groups of 7. That is a date array. And now we can replace this part and say chunk ij. Need to get date. Because it's a number. Okay, name them row and call. Okay. Ooh, we're getting somewhere. We're actually getting somewhere. This is correct. This is correct. Okay. So let's accept date as a parameter here. Because we also want the date here. Date dot get full year. We need to convert that to a string, but I'll get to that right away. And we want to pass this date here. Right. I guess it's not building because of the type errors. This needs to be returned. All right, so there might be a way to get this in the locales. Again, July. What happens now? If it works, we don't know if it works because the previous let's do date.set month to 2. Right now it should be 1 should be February. Oh, it works. It works. And Alok, I think you wanted to see if it works with February, and it does. We have February 1 to 28, and the rest is padded with the months before and after. All right. All right. So I guess let's keep that on for now and do the next section. And here we just want 2 parts. On the left we have the hours of the day, and on the right we have the actual schedule. So let's start with '24. I want this array to be expanded, and I flip these up, or we have 0 to 23. I actually want the 0 to go. I think this is fine. We might need the 24 there because it's a duration, right? So we will want the duration. So if I want to say from 23 to 24, we kind of want the 24 there, even though in a clock you never have the 24. So let's make this 25, right? And now we have the 24. All right. And this whole thing goes in a div, and let's have another div. And let's leave that empty for now. Then we want H2. Unscheduled. And let's leave that div empty for now. All right. All right. So now we need to start doing styling. Let's get we have emotion and nope. CSS. There's 20. It's okay. Not looking for post CSS. I'm looking for CSS and JS. If not, I guess I can write the CSS by hand, like as not a as not in JS. What is this? Oh, I think this is a render. Never mind. Never mind. Ah, CSS and JS. Cool. Let's try this one. Import. What's the public file? The src/mod index. There's the types there. No tailwind. I'll ban you in chat. Suggesting tailwind is a sin. All right, so let's get started. Class CSS. Is this typed? It's not typed. But I still have my, it's just this one function, so I don't really care. I guess they want us to do some setup. Let's do the setup. Let's do that in a main function. Main. What's the problem? App needs to be inside main. What's wrong with duplicate identifier main? Oh, never mind. Okay, got it. Let's call it app. Give me 1 second. Right. So first we want these three to be in our display flats. What's up? What's up? Bundle failed. Why is what? The heck does that mean? New source. I don't get it. If it has no types anyway, why don't we just get emotion? Not CJS. Is there another option? Or JS? ESM? Oh, yeah, it's at Emotion slash CSS. And we don't want the CJS version. We want the ESM version. Just copy that. No setup. What the heck does this mean? Excuse me, what? Why is it so full of problems? Oh, we're heading out. Right. See ya. This is the CJS prod. What's this bullshit? How do I use? I guess there was esm.sh. Yeah, I should have used this in the first place. Let's try Emotion CSS. Yeah, let's try this one. The other package was relying on. All right, that caused it to build. What? Okay, the class is there. The class is definitely there, but what does the flush do? Do we want inject global? Nope, 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 nope. That's for global styles. We want hydrate, I think. Nope, that's not it either. I know I can get it out of emotion cache. I'm trying to not do that. I remember emotion used to do that by itself. What's happened to it? Come on. Yeah, it doesn't actually need anything. It should just work. So why doesn't it? It's created the style. Interesting. I guess something about emotion is not being allowed to run. In this context. Okay, I'm just gonna fix that with, how do I fix that up? I'm just gonna do, after render, styles, create create element, and root dot append. Let's actually do this before render DOM, and then you can come and do style dot inner text is equal to what does get registered styles do? Okay, I don't need that. We need cache. We need cache. Emotion cache is an array, I think. Emotion cache. Dot sheet. Wait, what? Can I just append this? HTML element. Let's see what happens. Bundling finish. But my changes aren't here. Like this root dot append child is missing. I guess that's because a render DOM might be replacing it. I don't think it should, but let's do document dot body dot append child. Ah, okay. So let's get rid of this and see what to do here. It's an empty, it's undefined. All right, so let's see here. Whole sheet property is useless. Okay. That CSS is an empty string, right? And then we do for const key of cache dot inserted key in cs plus equals key, open and close braces, inserted key. Let's do that. Create element style dot inner text, inner text, not HTML, text is compile CSS document body append child style. Now what's happened now? For some reason, oh, we didn't actually need to do this part, so we can just ignore this whole thing. Plus, all right, that works. Let's just do width 100% and overflow hidden. I guess we also need to do inject global. We want body to have no margin by default. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I don't know how this this is supposed to work. Let's try this. Nope, it's still trying to inject. Oh, I guess we don't actually need this. That works. So I guess we should do this first before we do anything else. Not root, body. Okay. And now this div actually this might benefit from being you're back. Welcome back. All right, each of these needs to be its own div. Okay, cool. I also need to know which of those which of these dates are from this month. I guess that's easy to do. We move this to the bottom. All right. So that's the body background. Cool. Color. That. Okay. Then where's my month? CSS enter comma background color border none. All right. What's a color? We just color inherit. All right. So we want a different background color if and only if it's from the current month. Right, so let's do we can move the hash before, and then we have current dot get month. Get month. We want this in a variable. Let's put this that. Date dot get month equals current. That's it. Date dot get date. All right. So now we have all the current months highlighted in a different color. We actually want the font. So let me get the font. Can I get it from here? Hello. Let's use inter variable, I guess. Smaller file size and stuff. Can reuse start? Yeah. Yes. Okay. That works. Start month plus 1. Start is going to be 28th. And I need to load the fonts. Let's see now. Public CSS fonts.css enter. Why do we even have that? How do you write a range? Under 900? Is that? Hope that's how it is. Public slash enter. Let's get it out of the way. Variable stuff. Let's try doing that and fonts.css. That did not work. Yes. So something's wrong with this. So I just do normal. Nope. That did not work. Ah, it says here that I can omit these. Does Firefox actually support variable fonts yet? Oh, right. So it was working, just not in Firefox. So we'll need the other fonts. What is this? Oh, okay. They actually have a handy CSS file for us. Let's just remove the other one. We don't even need this CSS. Just need to fix this one. Then we do public enter.css. That still did not work. Oh, that's because I didn't actually add the thing. Right. So CSS fonts.css. I'll do let's do root. I'll call this main. Currently these do not inherit. Alright. I'm just doing that. And that doesn't do it. Oh, this file is actually not being loaded. What did I do wrong? Oh, it's public CSS slash. Okay. Got it. Got it. Spin. The calendar looks inter. Yeah, yeah. So I have no idea why that did that. Alright, so now let's make this. We actually don't want to call this CSS function repeatedly, even though it's going to hash it and find that there's one thing. Let's do state I guess this one is better there. All right, so let's do it could cs. Let's do cs. Ch basically combines class names. That is weird. Okay. Okay. All right, so we'll set some additional styles to our buttons. We'll do width of 3 rem and height. All right, do height of, let's do 2.5 and height of 3. And we need a border radius. More, 0.5. And we need some spacing. So the spacing is going to come from here and here. Let's try the same thing here. What happens? Was wrong. Row is not an, oh, we messed up there. So let's call this just for now. What is it? What is the deal with this? Um, Actually, I think it's the other way. I might be a little bit tired. Why not? What's wrong with this thing? This is date. Come on. Okay. All right. So we have this. And probably increase the height a little more. Okay, that works. Need to align the numbers, but we can do that later. Now we want that. Should probably move that section out like we did month. Is this that? Background color of that. Okay. $15. Let's see what that looks like. This is not gonna be enough. And also this whole thing needs a gap of 1 rem at least. If these things are aligned and this is not, so maybe we should move that out, right? Maybe we should move the month part out. Let's do another div. Ah, what if I do hide in contact? Maybe because these have a fixed height, you can just calculate it, right? Like 4. Okay, so 4 into 5 plus 0.5 into 4. That did nothing. Why does that do nothing? Okay, so that needs to be rem. Will that work? Yeah. All right. So now this will get height 100% and overflow scroll. All right. Now we can scroll through that. This also needs a border radius. Aha, the scroll goes outside, so this will need a wrapper. This doesn't need the border radius. This can use that. Width will be 100% of parent. Background color is not necessary. Overflow scroll can be removed from here. And then This needs overflow hidden. That kind of looks awkward, but we'll deal with that in a bit. Like we can just add a padding to this. Okay. Kind of don't want the padding on the right. So let's do padding block. We'll do the padding inline start. Scroll bar is missing now because it's overflown. Let's just do this. Same thing. That's because the width is 100%. Let's get rid of that. Okay. All right. We needed. Let's go to main.css, and we want bots sizing border bots. Yeah. Black magic. Right. Now we have the scroll bar on the right edge. Then we have our numbers. We want these numbers to be smaller and of this color. Font size 0.8 rem. Yeah, that looks about right. Line height. Want a line height of 2 rem. Is that too much? It's definitely too much. Let's do 1.2 rem. Yeah, I think that will work for now. I think that will work. Might need to see a little bit more. All right, this will work for now, and then we will do this part. So exactly the same as this in some ways, but not so much in other ways. So let's move this thing and schedule. Return that thing. Now we can copy this, paste it in here, and watch it break. And yeah, the whole main needs padding. 1 rem at least. Okay. We'll do a H1 of font size 1.5 rem. And H2 1.2. Yeah, that's still not quite small enough. And this ran into a problem. This is now getting cropped. Each of these is 4 rem. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 into 4 rem. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. The padding of one rem is probably affecting it. Let's do margin of one rem. That's also a problem for now. The problem for some actually we can even move that out. Like this padding needs to move out to here. All right, that also is also wrong. Yeah, we're getting somewhat close to this. We'll make it all reactive and responsive later. But for now, this is fine. This actually needs to not have so much margin. All right, that's better. And now we can do display flats direction column and gap of 1 rem. Yeah, and that just has that gap. Everything is kind of laid out well. They are not responsive yet. Yeah, so now this also needs to get this color. What is that? Yeah. Class CSS. Color that. And I actually want to move this section stuff inside here. All right. This might need some tweaking. Let's do the font size. Let's do 0.6 and line height of 0.4. Yeah, that kind of works. Kind of works. If we start here, okay. Yeah, that kind of works. It's really going to take this much space. So when it does that, I'm guessing it's gonna be more visible. The rest of the thing is gonna be visible. All right. We need to add this stuff in there. but I think we can do that next time. Just gonna do a minor fits here, like this button. Let's try font size of 0.6 rem, just the same as this thing. And yes. And then a padding of 1 rem. Let's try that. It's probably a bit much. Let's do a padding of 0.8. 0.6. Yeah, that works. That works for me. And then today needs an extra thing. So for that, current is gonna become this month. And today is gonna be new date, I guess. So if we have new date, we can like do that. Then we want to create an after content. Let's make this position relative. Then this can be positioned absolute. Top and right of sits rem. Background color of that. And this whole thing only happens if, let's move this out. Let's say const today batch. Today batch. I'm gonna put this inside CSS. And then we'll say today dot get day. We don't want to do that every day, every time. Current dot get date. Today equals selected dot get date, and this month will selected dot get month. Since we're doing this twice, we can do that. And today Batch. All right, let's see how that works. Oh, that works well. That works well. We just need border radius of 100%. And let's move it slightly in. Okay, not that far in. 7. Yeah. Maybe make it slightly larger than that. Yep. That works. Gonna make this its. Yep. How long has this stream been on for? Let's see. 2 hours, 15 minutes. Let's do something minor and then we'll wrap up. I actually think grid is much more suitable for this. CSS grid is much more suitable for this because it fits a number of elements and elements can overlap. Like we have one element there, like one scheduled task there, and maybe another task is going to overlap it for some reason. Good file. Yeah. So some tasks may overlap it like that. In that case, grid is very helpful because we can just use the grid cell to align this stuff and not rely on like line height and shit. So let's do that, and yeah, and let's do that and this stuff, and then we'll wrap up for today. Date pad. It's here, right? So we want this to be grid. This would actually be subgrid because the parent will be a grid, right? This whole thing is going to be a grid. The whole thing that is scrollable. This thing is going to be a display grid. And then we have grid template. I need to quickly look at CSS tricks. Grid. Grid template columns. All right, that makes sense. Okay, so let's make grid template columns. We only have 2 columns, which is the har, which will make like 2 rem, and then we have like tasks, which will make the auto work. Yeah, I think it'll work. And then we have grid template rows. I remember there was a repeat. So for rows, we'll do repeat. So each hour is a row. So there'll be start at 0. There'll be 24 because 0 to 1 is one cell and so on. Actually, no. 0 is going to be on the top of the cell. Like, for example, 5 is going to be on the top of the cell and the cell ends here. And then we have 6. Maybe just 24 has to be outside the grid. Then it'll just work. Okay. 24. Let's just do one. Let's do 2 rem. Right. That did something. I think it's put everything inside one grid. Yeah. I think it's put everything inside that. So let's make this subgrid. So subgrid is it in yet? Does it work? Only supported in Firefox. Oh, how fortunate. And let's do can I say all contents of this need to be in a certain grid column and just automatically flow? What is grid out of flow? Let's try that. That didn't work. That did not work. Subgrid is not valid. So we can either move this up. And we should probably move it up for this to work. Let's try that. Let's comment that out. And then we'll just do grid template columns. No, grid column. And that's just going to be r plus 1 because r starts at 0. No, column is always going to be 1. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. It just flowed automatically. Oh, it didn't. Oh, it didn't. Never mind. Row. Let's try that. Nope. Can see that the grid stays there while this thing moves around. But it's still... Oh. It's still exactly one grid at a time. How does this work? Let's try removing the height restriction to see what happens. Yeah, so it does fill in correctly for some reason. Even if we don't have this, it fills correctly. Let's have it, I guess. But if we don't have it, we can pull this up and make it a static style. Could do that. And then this just becomes oh. Yeah, that works for me. Then we need the font size stuff. We just need font size, color. Ooh, yeah. That works. That works fine. That works just fine. Subgrid will be useful to have whenever it lands. And then now we just have the tasks here, right? So let's say tasks. Let's say I'm gonna do something between 16 and 19. So instead of this div is actually gonna come from tasks.map task. And expand that. CSS. And then I do grid template, sorry, grid column of 2, grid row start of start. This needs to be in that, probably a +1. Row end. Let's see what happens. It doesn't have any color, so let's give it a background color of aqua and see if that works. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. It actually works. We can turn off the grid overlay. It actually works. Starts at 19 and ends at, sorry, starts at 16 and ends at 19. So if it ends at 24, let's also add a title to it. Do the thing. And do the other thing between 20, 24. Yeah. Yes. So I think adding lines to this would be nice to show where 16 is. And probably not go all the way to the right. So let's add a padding to this. Padding block alignment 100. That was yeah, it is. Let's do margin. Not have to worry about it. Yeah. Add a border radius 0.5. Probably too much. Let's give 0.25. Yeah, that kind of works. Let's get this color. All right. So we have that. Now for the unscheduled part. We just want a div CSS. This one we can safely leave it as display flits. In fact, its parent also needs to be display flits, so that and flits direction of column. Do the other thing. Other thing. Task.map task div task.title. All right. So this also needs flits direction column, and it also needs font size. Size of 0.8. That should do it. That does not look like 0.8. Let's go to main.css and actually define font size as 16 pixels. That is our root font size. Looks like that was what was being followed. If I do that, yeah. 16, okay. This is actually fine. It's just everything is not in scale yet because I've zoomed it in. and each div in this gets this fill color. And a border radius of 0.25 rem, and this gets a gap of 0.4 rem, and this gets, I think this is, let's see what happens here. All right, so this needs to not do this. All right, so now we have padding of 0.25 rem. Yep. And also this also needs gap of 1 rem. As you can see, gap is my favorite property. It makes spacing so much nicer. Yeah, I think we are pretty much there. Actually, this might need to be button. And this will become button. Order none. Color. Let's just get this muted color from here. Text align left. Probably a little bit more on padding. Yeah. All right. We have all the basics for the UI done now. We need to add the interactions and the state and the storage for this. So I'm gonna stop at that for today. Because I'm kind of invested in this project, I might do another stream tomorrow. I might also work a little bit offline. But if I do, I'm not sure I'm going to, but if I do, I'll definitely give you guys a good intro before we start next stream. Right? All right. This is a mess of fonts. I'm gonna add everything except for the fonts in one commit, just to keep the commit clean. What's in settings? Which is okay. Then we do the commits in one font. Init. Yep. All right, everybody. That was it for today. So we've got this concept and we have the basic layout ready for it. And next time we're going to wire this up, have the interactions done, and also do the state management and possibly the backend. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you like the stream. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. Good night.